Hey, it's So bringing you the World of Warcraft, and today we're back at the Nighthold raid, and we're gonna take on the Chronomatic Anomaly, the second, and probably my least favorite boss in the Nighthold raid. I feel kind of bad. This is only the second boss, and my impression of him or her or it or whatever is just bad. I just don't like this boss. He's boring as a tank. Anyway, let's get right to it and how to tank this fight. Like I said, this fight isn't terribly engaging, so for your talent loadout, you can pretty much pick whatever is your favorite. For me, I picked up good old Blessed Hammer, First Avenger, Blinding Light for the damage, Blessing of Spell Warding or Cavalier can work, and I'll tell you why later. You can go for Hand of the Protector to heal yourself or the raid during a certain part of the fight, or you can go for Knight Templar if you feel like you're going too slow. There's a part during the fight where the raid might be taking a whole lot of damage, so you can take any of the talents in the 90 row if you want. I'd recommend going for either Judgment of Light or Consecrated Ground. Aegis of Light can work, but you're probably going to want to spend your time DPSing more. Judgment of Light is going to get more healing spread out for your team if you have a smaller group, but everyone's going to be kind of bunched up at a certain part, so Consecrated Ground might be your go-to. For the last row, again, you can kind of go with whatever's most comfortable for you, but in this case I'm going to recommend Seraphim this time so you can get the extra throughput, even though it's not something that I personally like using. As a tank, there's only two major things you need to worry about. One is the Chronometric Particle debuff. That's the tank debuff that stacks up, and once it gets to 10, you die. Just make sure that you and your co-tank are swapping appropriately. Of course, keep in mind that the debuff is going to stack differently depending on whether you're going super fast or super slow. And there's an add to tank that you also have to interrupt. So I go ahead and pull this boss first. We're not going to bloodlust yet, but we pop most of our tricks and just try to get as much damage into the boss as possible before the ad appears. Once it does spawn, I have my co-tank take it off of me, I dash over to the ad, and again, this is where, talenting for faster horsey might come in handy, but not so much. Hold on to the ad, make sure you interrupt it, and otherwise beat the tar out of it. Once that thing dies, and I guess there is a third thing to worry about, there's a clickable thing that you pick up on top of its corpse and it gives you an extra action button. This thing's going to interrupt a special cast that the boss does called Power Overwhelming. You're going to ignore that extra action button, you're just going to keep beating the crap out of the boss, pop bloodlust, pots, everything. At least this is what we do on normal and heroic. During Power Overwhelming, the boss does increasing pulsing damage to the entire raid, and pretty much nothing else. So just have the raid stack up and kill it. You pretty much want to hold off on pressing that extra action button until the moment that your healers can't handle healing your raid up anymore. That's why you want to use whatever small tricks that you have as a paladin to try and support your raid. Blessing of Spell Warding, Aegis of Light, Consecrated Ground, Judgment of Light, any of those things that can get a little bit more healing into your raid will help. Once you get to a point where your healers can't handle it anymore, hit your extra action button and you're going to slam dunk the boss, interrupting that cast, slowing everyone down, but you go back to the original phase. From there, you just rinse and repeat, and for the most part, everything is kind of common sense. Try your best to avoid those bursts of time ball things that are falling out of the sky. Get away from all that blue crap that's on the ground. And look out for players that have Time Bomb. That has nothing to do with you, but those players should be running away from the raid, and if they're not, well, that's going to be a lot of extra damage that you'll be taking. So if anything bad happens to you regarding Time Bomb, make sure to yell at that person because they were probably standing too close to you in the raid. And that's pretty much the fight, so here's the quick run through. Swap out the tank debuff, grab and interrupt that ad when it appears. During the first Power Overwhelming, don't interrupt yet and just pound the crap out of the boss. When you get to the second Power Overwhelming, when everyone's slowed down, interrupt the boss immediately so you can get to the fast phase. By this time the boss should be at low health. If not, just continue to obey mechanics as normal, but keep in mind that time has gone faster. Kill the boss, loot the corpse, and then contemplate on how this boss could have been better. That pretty much rounds it up for this boss. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this boss encounter, or if you have any additional tips, share them in a comment below. I'll see you guys at the next boss, and you stay breezy.